Mr. Nara Lokesh, good to have you with us here on ET Now, and congratulations on netting India's largest FDI investment, Google's largest anywhere outside the US, its biggest in India as well. Cards on the table, AI data center right here in Vizag at Taraluvada. What does it mean? I believe 25,000 jobs at the construction stage, 200,000 direct and indirect employment ventures from the overall AI ecosystem. How significant is this for Andhra and the Vizag region?
No, this project is not just significant for Vizag and Andhra Pradesh, but it's a significant project for Bharat. See, under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, we are able to bring about reforms that India has not seen to attract projects like this. So giving clarity on permanent establishment, giving clarity on tax holidays. So together we worked of landing this investment, and I believe this is just the beginning. This is 1 gigawatt, but there's so much more to come. And for the first time, rather than outbound calls, we're getting a lot more inbound calls, seeking opportunities to invest in this entire data ecosystem. And this is just the beginning. It's not just about a server, right? The idea is, how do I get the entire cooling ecosystem? How do I get the server manufacturing ecosystem? How do I get the power electronics? How do I get the rack manufacturer? The whole 9 yards coming into the great state of Andhra Pradesh. And this is what will make this entire ecosystem more competitive and sustainable in the long run.
And we'll talk about those future opportunities in just a bit, because I definitely want to ask you about that. But timeline-wise, sir, how long do you see the project actually taking form and shape? When do you think we'll be all set for a launch?
The timeline has already been set on the dais by our Honorable Chief Minister that August 15, 2028 is when we're going to get the Honorable Prime Minister here and actually open this facility and dedicate it to the nation. So timeline is already set for us. So we're working backwards from the timeline set by our Chief Minister. And if you know Mr. Naidu, he sets the timelines, we get it done.
You surely get it done. Let's talk about the project itself. Google has already said it will be a key core component of powering its Gemini services. It's their best-in-class AI data center stack. For such a project to take form and shape in India and in Vizag, surely it's a big deal, because for the longest time there was talk about undersea cable infrastructure being most likely taking place in a Mumbai or a Chennai. But for Vizag, one of Andhra's forefront cities, to actually snag the project for itself, how important is this really for the city and the state's economic profile overall, Mr. Lokesh?
You know, earlier people used to search about Visakhapatnam in Google. Now Vizag has G in it, which stands for Google. So we are now powering Google, and it's very exciting symbiotic relationship that we have now built together. And this has just been a catalyst in the entire ecosystem, and it's really propelled Visakhapatnam onto the global map. And today a lot of Fortune 500 companies are looking at setting up their GCCs here in the great state of Andhra Pradesh, and in particular in Visakhapatnam. Right. So this is going to be a very, very important project for us. And it's really exciting times ahead of us.
And speaking of that pipeline of opportunities, RIL is another name that has also evinced interest in investing in Andhra Pradesh. In fact, when they invest, I believe the ticket size could be much larger than this one. In fact, also in the data center space. How excited are you about this project as well? And what's that pipeline looking like going forward?
It's not on paper. We have already completed SIPC. We're going to do SIPB and then bring it to cabinet. Maybe by mid of next month, that project will be approved and then subsequently grounded. That is the pace at which we work. We are not here to sign MOUs or bring announcements. We are here to execute. And that is the key differentiator that Andhra Pradesh today has compared to other states. See, we have Mr. Naidu as a brand. We are delivering on the promise of speed of doing business. While other states have double engine Sarkar, we have double engine bullet train Sarkar. So we have Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, and then we have our Honorable Chief Minister Naidu ji. And both together are able to drive Andhra Pradesh like no tomorrow. And that's how we are able to land these investments that India has never heard of.
Speaking of bullet trains itself, you had Union Rail Minister Ashwini Vaishnav making some very interesting announcements, first of which, of course, is that Amaravati to Hyderabad, all of 70 minutes, a significantly lowering down of the travel time there. In all, I think Mr. Naidu also said that 7 to 8 years is the timeline that you envisage for these projects to take form and shape on the ground. How significant is this for the rail connectivity of not just Andhra, but the overall southern region?
No, mobility is very, very important. It brings two great economies together. So if you know, the bullet train between Bangalore and Chennai will bring the two economies a lot closer and will energize en route all the smaller economies. So it could be a town, it could be a village, it will completely energize them. So mobility and this kind of high-speed transportation is very, very critical. And we have to learn that from our neighbors also. So today's announcement is very significant for India, especially South India, and more so for Andhra Pradesh, because from Calcutta all the way down, the eastern seaboard Andhra will be the benefactor of this ecosystem. And connecting all the major cities is going to be very critical to bring in mobility to the level that the world has not seen. So under the leadership of Ashwini Vaishnavji, already we are seeing a lot of change in the entire railway ecosystem. And I believe this is just the beginning, and a lot more will happen in South India and in India.
Last couple of questions before I let you go. Andhra has in the recent past been perhaps the only South Indian state that hasn't exactly stood with the others when it comes to delimitation, in a sense, in line with the central government establishments. You've copped some criticism for that stance, given the widening fears of lack of representation for South India itself. What is your party's position on this criticism and how do you react to it really?
No, I'm directly questioning the parties that did not support the bill. It's very clear that the Constitution has said that 2026 delimitation will be used to arrive at the number of seats. They said while the number of seats are fixed, we are not going to increase the number of seats. Delimitation will be based on the census of 2026. It's hard coded into the Constitution. The recent amendments brought was an amendment to that, to say that the number of seats will increase whilst proportionate representation will be maintained. So while Andhra's has 25 seats today, it will increase by 50%, like any other state would. So it's 50% increase across board.
Surely,
so
sir, but
South India would not have any negative effects. It's quite clear. The Honorable Home Minister stated on the floor of the House, he was agreeing to bring in an amendment to it. But it's unfortunate that certain political parties, for their own interest, political interest, have actually deceived South India in this matter. It's very clear, if we don't do the amendment, we'll be in serious trouble. South India has a lot more to lose. So it's important that this amendment comes. Only then the interests of South India will be protected. And NDA stands for Bharat. We are not merely about North India, East India, West India. We are about India. We believe in the fundamental integrity of our nation, and South India has an important role, as would East, North or West have.
One last question then before I let you go. A video has recently been going viral of some TDP supporters who were harassing a comedian, a stand-up comic in Bangalore, in fact, for a joke that he had made against you and your father 2 years ago, for which apparently he had already apologized for, claiming that he apologized again, and this was an interruption to his stand-up comedy act. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to see the video, but what is your take on the incident itself and how do you react to it?
See, I believe it's a very unfortunate incident. Definitely freedom of speech and expression does exist in Andhra Pradesh, no second thoughts about it. But I would also humbly request people not to misuse it and take jokes against the women in our house. Because we take respecting women very seriously as a state. So there were jokes made against the wife of our deputy chief minister, which I think is very unfair and it's beneath it. So let's maintain that sense of decorum. It's very unfortunate that he was pulled up in that forum. I think there are other mechanisms in which we should positively engage with them. We will engage with them, no second thoughts about it. Andhra Pradesh believes in democracy, India believes in democracy, no second thoughts about it. If you look at in our states, unlike the earlier regime, we don't have any house arrests or anything like that. Freedom of speech, freedom of expression exists. But let's not misuse it. And please, let's not offend women, any woman. And that's my only request and ask.
On that note, great speaking with you. Thank you very much for doing this and congratulations again on the investment.